Teardrops.
For fun, force feed our fear until our hearts go numb. Addicted to a lonely kind of love. What I wanna know is how we got this stressed out, paranoid. Everything is going dark. Nothing makes me sadder than my head. I'm running out of teardrops. Let it hurt till it stops. I can't keep my grip. I'm slipping away from me. Oh God, everything is so fucked, but I can't feel a thing. The emptiness is heavier than you think. I'm tripping on the edge, high as a kite. I'm never coming down. And if you hear me, guess you know how it feels to be alone. That's how we get this stressed out, paranoid. Everything is going dark. Nothing makes me sadder than my head. I'm running out of teardrops. Let it hurt till it stops. I can't keep my grip. I'm slipping away from me. Oh God, everything is so fucked, but I can't feel a thing. The emptiness is heavier than you think. Suicidal, violent, tragic state of mind. Lost my halo, now I'm my own antichrist. Suicidal, violent, tragic state of mind. Lost my halo, now I'm my own antichrist. Running out of teardrops, let it hurt till it stops. I can't keep my grip, I'm slipping away from me. Oh God, everything is so fucked, but I can't feel a thing. The emptiness is heavier than you think. I'm running out of teardrops, let it hurt till it stops. I can't keep my grip, I'm slipping away from me. Oh God, everything is so fucked, but I can't feel a thing. The emptiness is heavier than you think. The emptiness is heavier than you think. You're looking for the other side. Feeling nothing ever seems quite right. Are you stuck in the dream? You're getting no from parents. I need to know where your loyalties lie. Tell me how you're gonna fuck up mine. Do you really wanna twist the knife in the belly? Get the fuck up, wake the fuck up. Wipe the system and burn the fuck up. You're a puppet with the gun, your strings up. Don't come crawling back. Forever, the apple, my eye. As I Destroy castles in the sky. Kingslayer, I'll fight for you until I die. Kingslayer, destroy castles in the sky. Kingslayer, forever will the apple of my eye. I sacrifice it all to guide you, never have to run alone. Kingslayer, come and correct us from now. This is your wake-up call. I'm going down the rabbit hole. Are you ready? I can feel you! Give me a break! Give me a break! Give me a break! Okay.
Alright everybody, welcome to race number 2 of the Keystone Corner Sportscar Championship here on WORC TV. My name is Braison Collins and welcome here as qualifying is winding itself down. We'll give you a little bit of info about today's race. Track info here, we're WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna, Seca. The full configuration. Track length is about 2.3 miles. 11 turns located in Salinas, California, I guess. Altitude of 737 feet. Weather for today, 68-degree temperature, 116-degree track temps. Really hot track today, really slick track. 5-mile-an-hour wind speeds, partly cloudy skies. It's just beyond noon. Humidity at 1% for today's event. Well, let's pull up the grid as these guys get lined up. I'll try to tell you guys the separation between classes best I can here. We have not yet installed a multi-class ticker and stuff here, so on the pole for today, Austin Edwards to his outside, John Cannizzaro. Then we got Gino Mero, Josh Patterson, Jordan Spoon, Joe Fierro, Ryan Martin. That rounds out your LMP2 guys. Um, right behind them, starting off GTEs, we got Parker White. Then we got the GT3 leader, David Schluter. Then we got back to the GTEs. We go Mason Sweet, Brian Zinn. Then we go to the other GT3, Coy Hassello. Then we go back to the GTEs. We get Seth Warren, Jason Ricia, Brent Cooper, Caleb Nickel. Jay Mulder back in a GT3, Brandon Stewart, Ethan Harrison, Aiden Elliott, Nick Pena, Ethan Workman, Matthew McDonald, and then the people who didn't qualify, Harry Grindle, Garrett A. White, and Sean Giroux for today's race. So, as I said, well, we will try to do the best we can here to make sure everyone gets to see all the racing, gets to see the separation of the packs and everything. It'll be a rolling start. They'll do a pace lap. Class with the most cars is GT3, I believe. LMP2 has the least amount of cars. Points leaders is going into today's race. P2's Adam State. He's not here. So pretty much all these guys have a chance here to try to claim a points lead. GTE points leader is their pole sitter, Parker White. And that Porsche 911 right there, that 95. Parker on the pole there, so those guys got to be worried. Their points leader looking strong here. And in the GT3s, David Schluter is having a car rolled behind into him. Not sure what's going on there. Hopefully they're paying attention. David Schluter in that 94 is the guy who is their points leader. So looks like Parker not going, trying to get some separation. And lack of separation is going to be an issue here if those other GTEs don't back off Parker. Some beautiful sounding race cars though. Race info, never mind. Average lap time is about 75 seconds, which is about I guess I'll just round it up to about a minute 15. That's for the LMP2s though, man. Like I said, we haven't quite installed our sports car stuff yet here, so we'll get a good look here at the P2s. Looks like they've got a little bit of a gap here. That's good. That's what we needed out of these guys. They have been warned they will be penalized if they don't leave a gap, so that's their main issue that these guys have to face here. Pacing, looks like everyone's good. Got gaps, lots of Lamborghinis in the GT3 field. In fact, that may be all we have. Some names that aren't here today. Adam State, as I said. Tony Teolis of the GT3s, off the top of my head, he's not here. Sartaj Mon, Corey Hartz, they're not here. Everyone in a Lamborghini except for Matthew McDonald. No Mercs today. And Matthew McDonald, he's going to try to wheel that Audi up there. The Audi's so quite competitive if you watch any of the iRacing official series. I don't remember exactly which one it was. Tune in on YouTube though, and the Audi was leading in a GT3 race. The Audis were the most dominant cars actually, with those Lambos right next to them. So who knows what Matthew McDonald has in that Nova Sim Racing machine. We'll see what he can get out of it here. As we go back to the P2s, these guys going to get ready to fire off here. Green flag is out. P2s are underway here. Austin Edwards takes them to the green. And through 1 and 2, we'll see how they get through here. John Cannizzaro powering by on the outside. Looks like he'll get that one in. Meanwhile, back to the GTEs. There's Parker White. He leads them into 1. Oh, Mason Sweet, or not Mason Sweet, excuse me. Jason Ricia, he runs wide. Looks like those guys make it through. Go back to the GT3s here, as we'll see how these guys fare. It looks like they're making it through turn 1 nice and easy. And everyone makes it through turn one. That's always the positive here in these races. So John Cannizzaro out to an early lead here at Laguna Seca. Or actually, never mind, Austin Edwards is. Looks like the sector didn't update the timing and scoring. So Austin Edwards got back by him there. And we'll see who leads lap number one here as Edwards sweeps through that right-hander right there. And Laguna Seca, beautiful facility in California. Glad we could bring these WORC guys out here. Oh, Edwards spins it! Edwards spins himself, exiting the final corner from the... Oh, he's going to have another P2 joining him. The 16 of Joe Fierro. Mistakes early on here. And that'll put John Cannizzaro in the lead with Gino Mero harking down on him. Looks like Parker White. He's going to lead the GTE class across the line here. And David Sluter, he's coming around. He's got a little bit of front end damage, it looks like. Nevertheless, Sluter leading this one. There's his teammate Coy Asolo right behind him, and then Seth Warren P3. Looks like Nick Pena P4 coming around that corner. He's being chased by Brian Zinn, Ethan Workman, Matthew McDonald. Lots of guys there. Ethan Harrison. Not sure where he's at on track. There he is. Blinked out for a second. He was like P3 or P4. Not sure what happened to that 00 bright pink machine, but meanwhile Mason Sweet, he is taking over P2 in the GTEs, and this is actually quite a close battle here as Garrett A. White has moved up to P3. That was the GTE that I was kind of talking about that I said, well, he's rolling back into David Sluter. So White finding himself up to P3. Harry Grindle P4 and Brent Cooper P5 as they go through the corkscrew here. Harry trying to find his way around that 26 of Garrett A. White. And Harry dives it in there. Can't quite make it stick. Harry trying to find his way around now in that 70 machine, Team Kamikaze. As they go through the final corner here, a lot of pressure on that 26 to hold P3 here. It's podium finish in that class. Look here, that's Mason Sweet P2, that purple and black Galaxy looking car. As oh, Garrett A. White runs wide. Looks like he'll get the run back off the corner. So these guys are catching. And the GTEs have a good mix of cars here. Is obviously the P2s, all of them are Dahl era. The GT3s we saw pretty much all Lambos except for one Audi. These guys, we got a couple Corvettes, we got a BMW, we got a Porsche leading, and we got a Porsche behind this group of cars right here. Some great close racing here as Garrett A. White trying to take P2 from Mason Sweet. If you don't follow our Oval Series, Mason coming off a win at Michigan in the JP Designs Truck Series Thursday night. So we'll see what happens at 56 here, going through the corkscrew. Garrett A. White's got the inside. Mason Sweet locks it up. Garrett A. White misses the chicane. And Mason Sweet messes up big time. He also missed it. He's going to get passed by Grindle as well. And now Garrett A. White runs off. And Brent Cooper right here, he's trying to get himself into the mix. As Harry Grindle to the inside of Garrett A. White here for P2 in that GTE class. Meanwhile, we have an issue. I believe with John Cannizzaro, he has fallen out of the lead. Gino Mero leads, Jordan Spoon second. I'm not sure if there's an issue with the relative or if John Cannizzaro seriously had a problem. There's Cannizzaro. He was leading going into that final corner. I've been watching the relative. I can check session events here. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. I don't see any incidents with John. I'm scrolling through the incident sheet now, so that's interesting. Gino Mero in the lead. He had a rough going in that truck race Thursday. Now, oh, he runs off right side tires into the dirt. But anyways, as I was saying, he had a rough going in that truck race because he got dumped from P4. Ethan Workman going off in front of the leaders. Not sure if he's trying to give. Oh, he almost kills Josh Patterson in that 02. Patterson in the Kingslayer Auto Sport 02. Josh is as I keep calling him, he's the WORC road guy, and I don't think he had much practice at Laguna Seca. He also has two computers, uh, one at his mom's house, one at his dad's house, and he's currently running on like class 6 graphics. As we see, somebody ran off right there in a lower class. So interesting to see here as Jordan Spoon right on the back bumper of Brian Zinn, as these guys trying to find their way around. Or excuse me, that wasn't Brian Zinn, not sure that was. I believe that might have been Coy Haslow. As Coy had an issue, he's falling back to 5th. As you see him getting lapped by all these P2s. And so that's interesting. Coy was P2. David Sluter and Parker White still each leading their own classes, as David pretty much on his own pedestal here. And there's Parker. These guys off and running. Early on, these two I'd say are favorites to win the championships in each of their classes. So, good on these guys. Meanwhile, this P2 class looks like it's going to be a dogfight here, as Patterson trying to weave his way through traffic with Jordan Spoon, as they almost took it 3 wide. Getting through that lap traffic here, and Josh looks like he's faster than Jordan here. I'm interested to see if Patterson makes that move or not. As up to the corkscrew. This is where I said the most challenging part of catching traffic would be. If these guys catch the corkscrew, do the P2s give it up a little bit? If you're a GT car, you just say skirt and run yourself off into the dirt. Say, I don't want to deal with that. I'll take my 1X. There's a lot of questions here as this battle for P2 is heating up in, well, the P2 class. It's ironic to me they're called the LMP2s, but, well, in this situation, these guys are battling for P1. We got a, looks like Nick Pena coming out of pit road. Not sure if he had an issue or what. But he has made his way around. Ethan Harrison, I believe, has pulled it off. He had a rough start. It looks like Matthew McDonald may have also pulled it off early on in that GT3 class. As Gino, lap traffic of Brian Zinn cut down in front of Gino. Gino to make a quick move, and now Zinn is going to be in the way of Jordan Spoon here. Looks like he's going to get out of the way. Patterson's able to sweep his corner wider, and Cannizzaro and Edwards. We saw Edwards on pole make a mistake coming into that final corner, that little hairpin. And Cannizzaro made a mistake somewhere, so we'll see. These P2s staying close together, though. It's going to be a long race here, a long 80 minutes. 63 laps is being calculated here by iRacing. Meanwhile, something happened to Parker White. Oh, never mind. He just blinked out a little bit. He's right there. He's fine. I looked at the relative for a quick second. He was gone. So that's Harry Grindle, P2. There's Garrett A. White, P3. Brent Cooper, P4. Caleb Nickel, P5. There was an issue somewhere with Mason Sweet, as he is back here now. He was up to P2 early on. He's got a little bit of front end damage on that Corvette. And Jason Ricea, he was also up there as well, as he looks up and he's into the barrier. And that's going to end his night here, as that 48 has lost the front end on that thing. And Nick Pena is coming back in pit road. He has had a rough one today. Pena was in a P2 at Daytona, decided to try to make the swap to the Lamborghini here at Laguna Seca, and it is not working out for that 52. So, meanwhile, his teammate, though, leading the P2 still with Gino Mero as this top 4, maybe even 5. All right here. As Joe Fiero back there, he's P6 in the P2s, and there's Ryan Martin. He's struggling a little bit in the number 9. Gino Mero trying to flash that lap traffic ahead of him, say, hey, get out of the way. And as he makes the move on Cooper. Cooper had caught up to Garrett A. White. And as you see, those two are in a little bit of a battle here. As there's Cooper, there's White. So White lost that position. as these P2s work their way around. Mero gets by them there. Here comes Spoon and Patterson. We'll see Cannizzaro if he's going to get held up or not. Looks like Cannizzaro is going to get held up a little bit behind White. He'll dive to the inside. So far, so good. Everyone trying to give each other much room as possible. And like right there, Jordan Spoon gets a really good entry into that downhill portion here. And Josh Patterson all over Jordan Spoon's rear end. Patterson got an even better downhill. And these three going to be fighting it out. And if you're Patterson, do you say, hey, I'm going to let Jordan get to Gino? Or do you say, no, I'm making this for myself? Jordan tries to get a better arc into the corner on Gino. And these three right on each other's rear wings. Car to car to car as they cross the line. And Spoon now trying to go on the attack against Mero. Patterson takes to the inside, and Patterson may work his way around Jordan Spoon here, up and over the curve. Patterson takes P2. That's something Gino Mero wanted to see, gives him a slight breather. That move that Patterson just put on Spoon. As they go through the right-hander. And impressive, honestly. The clean driving that we're having here in this P2 class. Last week it was all Adam State from green to checkered. This time around, these guys making it a little bit more exciting. As the broadcaster, I like to see it. Road racing, a lot of people say they get bored watching road racing. You know, they say, oh, just cars going around for a certain amount of time or whatever, but there's a lot of strategy involved here. Obviously, these guys are keeping it entertaining as, despite it being a road course, they're not just separating from each other by seconds at a time. These guys keeping it close here. And these P2s, that top 5 is dangerous. I am liking what I'm seeing right now to these guys. GT3 class, I guess you can't really say the same, as here's David Sluter continuing his charge here. David won Daytona in that 94 machine. Of course, however, that was without a battle with Sartaj Mon. Sartaj led most of that race early on. David pit really early in that race, about 30 minutes in, and it paid off. He took the lead, never looked back, as Sartaj would end up messing himself up, and David would hold on to win. Sartaj, as I said, not here today. Brian Zinn, however, here he is, coming through turn 1. So that's your top 2 in those classes. There's Parker White as he makes it through that final hairpin, and there's Harry Grindle. He's 15 seconds back off Parker. So Parker off to the races, I think, here. Him and David actually have similar gaps to each other as they go through the ranks here. Look at all this lap traffic, and there's a car in the wall back there trying to get out of the way as Spoon and Cannizzaro dueling it out here. That gives Patterson and Mero a chance to pull away here as Cannizzaro and Spoon side by side trying to lean on each other a little bit here. Spoon's going to get the lead on Cannizzaro for now. However, up here they're catching that lap traffic of Ethan Workman. We'll see if Cannizzaro or Spoon can use him as a pick, and Austin Edwards is there. They had to check up a little bit, I think. And now Cannizzaro dives to the inside. That forces Spoon wide. Austin Edwards now taking advantage in that 118, going to the inside of Spoon. He's going to have to back it off for now, as Spoon's going to run off ever so slightly. And Josh Patterson may have had an issue. He is slow up here. Not sure if something happened to that 02. But he slowed up a little bit, and that allowed Gino Mero. There he is, way up there. He's pulled away, and now the battle on the P2s is, well, for P2 is John Cannizzaro. He's quick. He's trying to work his way back to first, where he led the first couple laps here. As Patterson pulls to the inside of Harry Grindle. And now they've got a little bit of clean track in front of them, as Parker White, I believe, is the next car that these P2s are going to catch to lap. Oh, maybe not. Looks like Coy Haslow is behind him. There's Parker. There's David Sluter. These guys on their own level right now. As Brian Zinn in P2, Seth Warren P3. There's a pretty big gap in the GT3 class. GTEs, Grindel's pulled away. There's Garrett A. White. However, teammates Brent Cooper and Caleb Nickel in the Porsches. Those guys pretty close, tight-knit with each other, as they're in those Republic of Gaming cars. So this is going to be a pretty good battle here for top, fourth place actually in their class. Their third teammate, Aiden Elliott, he's back there in 7th in class right now. Retirements from this race, Brandon Stewart, Matthew McDonald, Ethan Harrison. Not sure what happened with Stewart, but he obviously had to pull off there. So there was Sluter again, there was White again. And back to these P2s, tightening up once again. Gino, Josh. I'm receiving word that the reason the 87 lost P2 a few laps ago. Oh, Patterson runs off. The 87 lost P2 because he had to serve a drive-through penalty. So that was assessed by the admin. So meanwhile, John Cannizzaro makes a charge by Patterson here going into the corkscrew. Patterson let him have it. As Patterson's going to try to get him back around. Goes to the inside. Backs it off, I think. Cannizzaro pinches down. Josh gets a bad exit. Here comes Jordan Spoot now. Josh dropping a couple positions here. As Spoot now trying to battle with Patterson here. Spoot now looks like he might succumb a position to Austin Edwards. Edwards, nice little crossover move there. He pulled to the outside, faked back to the inside on Spoon. And Coy Haslow, he's just trying to get out of the way right there. Little update. And David Sluter. You know, Sluter and Parker White, they kind of remind me of NFL player Darrell Revis back in, I believe it was 2008, 2009. Locked down, I mean, he got the Revis Island nickname for a reason. Locked down most of the top receivers in the NFL. Well, we might need to have Sluter Island and White Resort here, as these guys just keep putting down laps and keep putting down time. As Parker here, you see, he's about to get lapped by Gino Mero. Wonder if Gino had to check up right there coming by to get Parker, because John has a huge run on him here. As we'll see what Cannizzaro can do. We'll see if Gino Mero plays enough defense or not here. As Parker goes to the outside, he says, I see all you LMP2s and I don't want any part of it, as this top 5 is insane right now. I don't think I've ever seen such a tight battle like this before. In P2s at least. I mean, I've ran a couple official races, spectated a few official races, spotted some friends in P2s, and I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. These guys really putting themselves on another level tonight, entertainment-wise. As Mero flashes P2 GT3 of Brian Zinn. And Mero gets holed up in the downhill. He's going to have to throw it in on Brian Zinn. Zinn kind of pinched down a little bit there. And Patterson has a very interesting exit there. As these guys go for the lead, Mero and Cannizzaro. Mero's going to pull out, and here comes Patterson now to the inside. Josh Patterson got a great run right there. Here comes Austin Edwards, here comes Jordan Spoon, and they're all right there. My goodness, these LMP2s Have no give up. Cannizzaro. Oh, somebody took out a cone. Cannizzaro's going to send Patterson. Patterson's going to try to get the exit off. He gets a little bit loose. Actually, they might be able to drag race it here into this next corner, this right-hander. Cannizzaro trying to clear Patterson. He does. Austin Edwards now trying to clear Jordan Spoon back here. Yeah, it looks like he does. Patterson may have gotten the dirt a little bit there. I've got to look at the track map, and this is actually pretty crazy. Just looking at this thing right now, I wish I could broadcast it for you guys, because where these guys are now, wow. Gino has a little bit of a gap now on Cannizzaro. We'll see what happens here. Cannizzaro starts to pull away ever so slightly from Josh Patterson, as Patterson now under fire from Austin Edwards. Edwards tries to go to the inside. Patterson arcs his corner and a little bit better, gets a better exit. And now Jordan Spoon chases Austin Edwards down the front straightaway here. As cones slide down the racetrack there. These guys gonna bunch up into the corner as Austin Edwards runs it wide. And looks like we have a GT3 off the racetrack. Not sure who that was. Might have been Jay Mulder. Yes, it was. Jay Mulder. He ran off. He's had a rough day. As Cannizzaro all over Mero. Cannizzaro going to make the move. Flies by on the outside. New leader back once again. John Cannizzaro. Josh Patterson now. He looks to waste no time. He thinks he has something for Cannizzaro. He's going to get by. Here comes Jordan Spoon. Mero pushes by on the outside. Spoon trying to follow Mero. They're going to go side by side into the downhill. Who's going to give? Who's going to take? Here they come. Oh, Mero runs it wide. Mero's going to lose about 3 positions here. From 1st to 5th. Oh my. Big mistake by the 71. As he tried to go in there side by side. Couldn't make it stick. And John Cannizzaro now, he has a little bit of breathing room. First time the P2 leader's been able to say anything close to that. Patterson P2, Spoon P3. As these guys... If I'm these two, I'm not wanting to battle right now. I'm wanting to stay close with Cannizzaro. As Spoon has a really interesting entry into this corner here, turn 1. He runs it wide, and he actually got a really good exit there. As he goes through the right-hander on Patterson. Patterson sweeps it around, though. He's going to clear him. And there's GT3 leader David Sluter. He's right in front of him there. As we'll have to see these P2s work their way around. Sluter actually going to give a little bit of help to Austin Edwards as Jordan Spoon messed up there and lost a position, and this might cost Spoon here if he can't get by. Yeah, Sluter runs himself off. Probably the smart idea. I mentioned that. I said, you know, coming into this downhill, this corkscrew, do you really want to go side by side there, especially if you're getting lapped, or do you just want to take your 1X, go off track a little bit, give him some space? And David did basically what I said I would do. Granted, I don't think I'd ever be in the same position as David, because I'm not really used to leading laps in these things. Most laps I've ever led in a GT3 was in the 24 Hours of Daytona. I led probably about, I don't know, 80 laps or so before, well, I got full throttled by a GTE, but that's a whole different story. As we've got a car on pit road, Mason Sweet. I thought it was Mason Sweet. Not sure who it is. It's a Corvette. Jason Rice, it looks like. He has a little bit of front end damage. That's right, I forgot. He went head on into the barrier in the corkscrew, so they had to patch up that 48, but he's coming out. He's going to come try to run some laps here. He's probably going to go another lap down here, as that's Parker White right behind him to come lap him in his own class. Aiden Elliott is the first car a lap down in that GTE class as he locks it up, and he's going to get a little bit of the barrier. And that was not good for that 30. He has a lot of right front damage now. Oh, geez, Jordan Spoon almost gets in the back end of him here. That 30 with a lot of damage. As his teammate Caleb Nickel is the last car in the lead lap, but there's Caleb. As you see, he's going into turn 1. And there's Parker. He's coming out of the corkscrew. So Caleb's got a little bit of breathing room here. Or actually, no, excuse me. Caleb is a lap down. Actually, okay, I'm looking at this from a different perspective here. I made a mistake. Everyone is a lap down besides this man right here, the 70 of Harry Grindle. I have no idea what Parker is on. He has a 32-second lead over Harry Grindle. If I'm Harry, I'm like, whoa, what is happening? How is he this fast? Cannizzaro, he continues to lead here. Austin Edwards got P2. As there's Josh Patterson and Jordan Spoons. Not sure if something happened, if he ran off or what, but down to your pole sitter, Austin Edwards, and the guy who took the lead from him, John Cannizzaro. They both made mistakes early on from the lead, had to work their way through. And now hopefully we'll get to see these two put on a show and battle it out as the 66 of David Giroux, he's trying to get out of the way. Or excuse me, Sean Giroux, my bad. He's trying to just get himself out of the way. As you see back there, Ryan Martin, he goes a lap down. And then now Ryan's going to lock it up. He's going to miss that last corner. And at 9, he's not having as good of a race as he did at Daytona. Granted, he's a little bit higher position. I'd say Ryan had a little bit more fun though battling Jarek Hernandez at Daytona than he is now. As Ryan is actually going to get passed here by a GTE. Actually, I believe that GTE, that is P3 Garrett White, he's backing off. He says, I don't want a part of this. Back to the P2 battle for the lead here. Closest battle for the lead we have on track. As there's Edwards and Cannizzaro. To each their own, dueling it out here. And Austin Edwards, he carries a similar sponsor to us. He's sponsored by McConey Setup Shop, and that's probably the kind of setup he's got in that hot rod there, that LMP2. As, now that thing is fast. If you're on iRacing, you're taking a look here, you're looking for a setup, I'd go buy one from McConey Setup Shop. They're a WORC sponsor, you'd be supporting us, and, Austin Edwards, look how quickly he closed that gap to Cannizzaro. Don't forget he was a pole sitter, so he's got something good set up there on that Faster Esports 118. So he's closed this gap. Got right up to the rear end of Cannizzaro. Cannizzaro pulled it off. Talking about setups, Cannizzaro was talking pre-race that he's kind of on the medium downforce setup, which is an iRacing preset. He just tweaked it a little bit, made it a little bit more manageable, and that seems to be what's working for him. As the gap extends here, coming into the corkscrew. Quick little update, there's your GT3's leader, David Sluter. He is putting on a show here. He doesn't have the gap that Parker White does to second place. But David does have a 12.4 second gap to Brian Zinn, which is still quite impressive. As he just continues to ring around these guys here at Laguna Seca. So this is a little bit cleaner race than what we had at Daytona, but Daytona didn't quite have as much action as we've had so far here. Good to see these American trucks putting on a show though, seeing as well, you know, America's more known for turning left only, so. Walk up there from the P2 behind David Sluter. That's Joe Fierro. We haven't talked much about Fierro since lap 1. That 16 was right there with the leaders, but he made contact with Austin Edwards as he also ran off the last corner. And Fierro now, he's just trying to work his way around the track, and he's not last. So I'd consider this a W for him, as that's always what I consider. If I had a rough start to the race and I got wrecked, well, I'm not last, so at least I'm still on track. Back to the front. Jim Mulder getting lapped there by Cannizzaro and Edwards. Well, I guess now might be a good opportunity. We're gonna do a little crank it up session. Go ahead, turn up the volumes if you're not already at 100%. We'll let you listen to these guys as Austin Edwards and John Cannizzaro put on a show real quick right here. A little bit of lock up there from Cannizzaro. As unfortunately, I have to end your guys' little crank it up session. Alright, well, yes, now would be a good time. We're going to check on the weather real quick. Oh, maybe not! Edwards turns Cannizzaro! Edwards checks up. And, oh my goodness, well, that changes, well, everything. Not sure if that was netcode or what. Looked like Edwards just got the back of Cannizzaro, maybe. I mean, I don't see too much front end damage from the 118. Quite sure what happened there. Alright then, well, back to what I was saying. A little bit of a weather update here. Track temp has gone up a little bit to 119 degrees. Still a pretty cool day here though, 68 degrees. Not really normal for California standards. Wind speed of 2 miles an hour, still partly cloudy skies. We're about 12:38 sim time now, and very small humidity here as Austin Edwards locks it up on entry. I'm not sure if he thought he was going to run into the back of Aiden Elliott right there or not. Well, we'll go back a little bit here. We're going to go check in on some of our other P2s as Jordan Spoon and Josh Patterson continue to... Oh, maybe not. Patterson spins. Gino Mero gets by him. And I guess I'm just cursing everyone today as I went to go see what Patterson and Spoon were doing. They were close together and Patterson makes a mistake. He's got a lot of ground to make up now. David Sluter, he's getting him lapped by the P2s, but still leading his class. Well, Parker White, he comes through the final corner as he continues to lead over the GTE class here. He has lapped everyone as there's Harry Grindle coming through the corkscrew now. Or actually, no, excuse me, he has not lapped Harry Grindle yet. That is the only car he has yet to lap. Besides Garrett A. White. Garrett A. White is also on the same lap. Relative is a little hard to read for the simple fact that with the P2s, the way they lap, even though Parker is only 2 laps down compared to Garrett and Harry Grindle, who are 3 laps down. Um, Austin Edwards has passed White and Grindle. However, he has not passed White yet, so that's why the relative is a little messed up on that. As you see, Edwards and White both coming right behind him there. As there's Edwards. And Parker looking to put Garrett A. White a lap down here. So we'll see if Garrett can run for his life here. And so Garrett A. White comes down pit road. Not sure if that's the first set of pit cycles we're gonna have. Pit stops. Yeah. We'll see here what happens. Looks like the 48's back on pit road. Looks like Mason Sweet's on pit road, so looks like some GTE stops happening here. As we'll see what Parker White does. I thought the GTEs had a little bit longer, to go on fuel, but unless those 3 just pit early. See here, we're going to monitor Parker White real quick here, this 95. We'll see if he pits soon or not. As he's about to get lapped, so I'd imagine if he's pitting, he has to get on that keyboard and say, hey, I'm pitting in. Let's see here, Parker does not pit, so he's going to let them by. Garrett A. White coming out of pit road. He had a long stop, so I'm assuming he filled that thing up with fuel. He's trying a strategy here. A couple cones get taken out. He's taking a cone with him. That cone has gone further in this race than Ethan Harrison, I believe. No offense to Ethan, all in good fun. Parker puts another lap down on Garrett, but however, Garrett is good for the rest of this race. So I guess now would be a good time for some mid-race updates here. Apparently we have 2,147,000,000. No. A lot of 2,147,483,617 laps to go, according to the mid-race update. Pretty sure, according to the ticker, that's calculated the laps. Oh! We're gonna stop the mid-race update real quick. That was Gino Mero. He's smoking? Sure if he's smoking or what. He had an issue there though. And I'm not sure what happened to that 71, but alright, well, let's try this again. Mid-race update. Obviously we've had no cautions, no caution laps. We've had 3 lead changes. That does not sound right because pretty sure we've had like 4 or 5 different LMP2's leads. So looks like the mid-race update is a little broken. That's alright though. So Austin Edwards, he's coming around the lap. Joe Fierro, P6. Fierro locks it up, going down the corkscrew here. As we see here, Fierro, he's flashing. Not sure what he's flashing for. No lap cars in front of him here. I'm not sure if he's just flashing a signal to Austin, hey, I'll let you by, or what, but... Oh, your leader in the GT3s, David Sluter, has just gone around. There's Brian Zinn, P2. Not sure if this will hurt David or not. I think he just got the curb. There's Brian. There's David. I think David is safe. Came in at the perfect time there. He looped it around. He's locking it up. I'm not sure if his tires are destroyed or what happened. Maybe he curb hopped it or what, but he might be lucky here. As I think he had a big enough gap on Brian Zinn. Yeah, there's Zinn right there, just a couple corners behind. Only 6 seconds back now, he was about 14, 15. So Sluter lost about 9 seconds of ground right there. As he's coming down pit road. So not sure if he had an issue or what. But that'll give Brian Zinn the GT3 lead for the time being now. First lead change of the day there in that class. As Parker White in the GTEs. Oh, lots of traffic. Jay Mulder. Saw him go off from the corkscrew there. Lots of craziness happening here with Parker. As he's the GTE leader, he has a 32.5 second gap on Harry Grindle at this time. As there's Grindle. He's just getting through turn 1 now. Or not turn 1, turn 3, excuse me. So there's Parker. Parker continuing to put laps down. Drivers who've put down their pit stops for the race here. Every driver pretty much has to do one stop. There's David Sluter, who we saw have a small issue. Garrett A. White, he's pit. John Cannizzaro missed out on that. He pit. And actually, Austin Edwards pit too. There he is on pit road. Josh Patterson's the new leader here. We'll see how far away that O2 can go. On low fuel. Lower fuel means faster lap times usually. So hopefully Josh can pull away a little bit here as he goes down the corkscrew. And we'll see here if Josh pits. Wonder if Josh is trying to stretch it as much. Oh, nope, there he goes. He goes down pit road. There's Cannizzaro. So we'll see here how long it takes these guys to cycle through. As Joe Fierro is gotten by Gino Mero. Gino straggling a little bit there. Gino's pit. Caleb Nickel has 2 pit stops and Nathan Elliott has 3. Saw there almost contact between GT3 leader Brian Zinn and Ryan Martin. So Zinn has not pit yet. Patterson's still on pit road, and there's Cannizzaro. So he'll come to take the lead there. Austin Edwards, here he is. He comes off the corner here. And he should pass Patterson. No, actually, they might be close. No, never mind. It's not as close as I thought. Patterson's not going to have the speed off exit here. So Patterson cycles back out third. He was in the lead for quite some time though. So Cannizzaro, huge pit stop here. He has pulled out to a massive lead as he looks for his first WORC win here. Been running well in the dirt series. He ran up front most of the truck race Thursday. So John, he runs triple duty here in WORC and he does a great job at it. You see him just continue to put laps down here. Fantastic drive by John today. Oh, car off. Looks like that was Caleb Nickel. As that whole team seems to be struggling here. That team is Brent Cooper. Right here you see getting passed by Patterson. Caleb Nickel, who's pit twice. Aiden Elliott, who's pit 3 times. He's coming in for his 4th pit stop as he's got all that right front damage. So rough debut for this team. Mason Sweet on pit road is 15 laps down. Jason Ricia, 1 lap behind him. There's their buddy on pit road. Ethan Workman and Nick Pena officially added to the retirement list here. As sucks for Workman, he was 3rd in points entering this race. He's going to lose lose some ground there, but hopefully when we get to the pay track, some of these guys kind of cycle out, and Ethan gets a little bit easier schedule. Parker continues to stay out here. Him and Harry Grindle, the only two GTEs who have not pit yet in this race. Every other GTE has taken a trip to pit road. So these two staying it out, burning as much fuel as they can off of these cars. Oh, we got a spinner, Koyasalo. He was P3 in the GT3 class. He has not pit yet. So we better get that bright colored thing going. He's just going to send it into pit road here. Yeah, that 83 took a little trip around. And actually, I believe he took a trip on the curbs. There's David Sluter. He's in a P2 sandwich right now as Fierro is going to go another lap down here to Austin Edwards. All P2s besides Ryan Martin have pit, and there's Martin to make his pit stop right now. Jay Mulder also on pit road, as you saw there. Here's Parker going through the last couple corners here. We'll see what Parker does here, if he's pitting or not. Looks like no, he's staying it out. I'm interested to see what that fuel run is on these GTEs. Nobody can go all the way. GTEs do have a little bit larger fuel cell though. The other guy I'm watching is this guy right here. He's currently leading the GT3 class. It's Brian Zinn. And remember, David Sluter had that spin, which closed the gap between him and Zinn to about 4 seconds from about 14. And now we'll see if the lower fuel is helping Zinn or not, as tires are important, especially here at a hot racetrack like this. But tires have a little bit less importance in comparison to fuel here in these GT3 cars. Zinn comes by. It's a lap down on Sean Giroux. Sean has not visited pit road either. I believe he's the only other GT3 who has not visited pit road. That is true. Yeah, everyone else has visited pit road except for Giroux, Zinn, Parker White, and Harry Grindle. He has gone down pit road. So Grindle, he may get lapped here by Parker, but he is coming out of pit road. There's Parker now. We will see if that 95 makes the left-hand turn into pit road when he gets there. He's got most of this track left here as he's putting a lap down on Coy Asolo. And we saw Asolo take that spin, and as I mentioned, Asolo had to serve a drive-through for contact under the pace lap. So looks like here, Parker White making the left-hander. He's got just a couple more corners to go here before he gets to pit road. And see, no, he stays it out. So Parker coming around for yet another lap here. These guys have about 24 minutes left of this race, so they are oh! The Obey Simsport 04 has joined the field in Paul Granata, and He goes off in turn one. Pretty looking race car. A little bit chaotic, but that was interesting. Parker going through turn one, and all of a sudden, oh, we have another car who spun off. Can't tell who it is. Not sure if that was Josh Patterson or not because he's up there, and Jordan Spoon is catching Patterson. So not sure if Patterson might have some damage maybe, or if he just spun off or what. A very colorful Kingslayer Autosport entry is slicing and dicing his way around. As we see here, there's Parker about to get lapped by Patterson. We'll see when he pits. Another guy to look out for, Brian Zinn. As I mentioned, he has not pit yet, and he only has a 6-second lead on David Sluter. So this is not really going well for him, I'd say. I'd say his strategy may have cost him some time, actually, because I believe he had a lot bigger gap. I don't know. It takes forever to fuel these cars, so for Zinn to stay out as long as he has, we'll see here if he's going to come down pit road soon. So these guys they got about 22 minutes left in this race, so they are almost at the hour mark. So I would expect to see somebody come down pit road soon, whether it be Parker or Zinn. But I think David Sluter led all those laps early. He had that little spin, but it didn't cost him much other than 9 seconds of time, as he's gained a lot back after pitting so early. And that's how he beat Sartaj Mon last week. Sartaj had led most of that race, and David was battling with him on his bumper the entire race. David took an early pit stop and pulled out with a huge lead, and then Sartaj got some bad luck on his side, and that just really helped David there. So there's Zinn, there's Parker. We saw several cars on pit road. Coy Asolo, he's on there. Aiden Elliott, once again on pit road. And Coy's been on pit road for about 2.5 minutes, so not sure if there's an issue on that 87, but Jay Mulder is the car behind him here on that 51, and Jay's had some issues this race as he's got some left front damage, so we'll see if Jay can nab a top 5 out of this, beating Hasselo. There's Seth Warren, he's P4, he's had a quiet day. That Fry Designs Racing 81. There's Gino Mero, he led all those laps early on. Had a couple mistakes, got passed, went from 1st to 5th, essentially going down the corkscrew, and then he ended up spinning. Now he's just trying to lap his way around and hope he doesn't get passed by Fierro or Martin. Or that he doesn't get lapped by Edwards. As there's Austin Edwards. There's John Cannizzaro. So Cannizzaro about 3 corners behind him, 5 seconds to be exact. We'll see if Cannizzaro has enough speed in that thing to catch Austin Edwards. As Edwards pit after Cannizzaro, and he is gone at the moment. There's Josh Patterson. He's in a little battle with Jordan Spoon. As Patterson was leading, had a little mistake though, got caught by Spoon, so these guys keeping it close here. Back to your GTE leader, Parker White, and your GT3 leader, Brian Zinn, just a couple corners ahead. As we have eclipsed the hour mark on this race. Zinn doesn't pit, Parker doesn't either. So to each their own, they're each staying out. And David Sluter is fallen 9 seconds behind Zin. A lap ago that was 5 seconds. See, if I'm Zin, I see that 9-second gap. I pit Zin. I think he messed up not pitting then. Not sure if he's banking on Sluter to make more mistakes or what, but that 94 machine is on rails. And yeah, I'd say that's some bad pit strategy by the 73. Granted, there is a reason I'm not a professional crew chief of any kind, so... John Cannizzaro has lost about 3 seconds on Austin Edwards here as he's just getting blown out of the water right now. Cannizzaro back in the JP Designs Open Wheel Tour. He had a great race here. Him, Parker White, and Adamaro really battled it out. Unfortunately, John would not be able to pull out the win there as he takes out a couple cones. Sends one way off into the distance in turn 1. As I believe Cannizzaro can possibly kiss this race goodbye unless Austin Edwards makes a mistake. That 118 is off and running for his second WORC win. Austin Edwards, I mentioned Cannizzaro pulls triple duty. Well, actually, he's not the only P2 driver in itself that pulls triple duty, as Austin Edwards right here, he won the JP Designs Truck Series in Iowa a couple weeks ago. He tuned into the McConaughey Setup Shop Dirt Late Model Tour Tuesday night, and unfortunately for him, Austin was caught in a couple wrecks, didn't quite pull out the best finish there, but Austin here, raced Daytona in the P2. Didn't quite have the best race there, but he's leading here. He got pole, and well, he is just off to a fantastic season so far. The other driver who's pulled triple duty in the P2s, this man right here, the O2 Josh Patterson. Qualified second in the P2s at Daytona, but had a little mistake and finished towards the lower portion of the field. But Patterson in the O2, he is grinding it out. He's ran more dirt late model races than anything, but he was at the Truck Series this past weekend and got up towards the front and just struggled after making some contact middle of the race and getting put in the wall. But Patterson here, he's led some laps today. He's been up front and it's been entertaining. The last P2 has done triple duty. Ryan Martin, I call him the WORC Iron Man. He has the most starts of any driver in WORC's history. That includes the league owners, so that shows you how dedicated Ryan Martin is. We love having him around here, and he's a fantastic driver. He's come oh so close to winning a couple times. He even came close to 2 championships back in the street stocks and the super late models, so I guess short tracks fit more to Martin's liking, but nevertheless, here he is making left and right turns, and he does it 3 times a week here with WORC. Great to have Ryan around. Parker White, meanwhile, still has not pit. There's Harry Grindle, who he has just lapped. Granted, I believe Grindle will get back on the lead lap soon. As Parker might be saving here. There's Brian Zinn, GT3 leader, has not pit either. And David Sluter has closed that gap to 8.5 seconds on Zinn, so I still question a little bit why Zinn didn't pit when that gap got bigger, but obviously I'm not the crew chief for a reason, so. Got about 15 minutes left in this race. These guys' fuel tanks have to be running basically on empty, as both of these leaders here run right in line with each other. And we'll see here, none of them pit. Zinn's gonna pull over and give Parker White the inside. He'll come back down in front of Grindle, and Grindle is probably trying to get his lap back here, I'd imagine. As Parker White has put on an absolute show, a clinic if you will. Led every single lap and has now lapped everyone in his class. And Brian Zinn, he's just trying to hang on fuel strategy. I don't believe, there's no way that these GT3s can save enough fuel to go all 80 minutes. Same with the GTEs. I mean, that's why everyone's pretty much pit. All but 3 drivers. Sean Giroux, who is podium right now in the GT3 class, has also not pit. However, he's about to get lapped by David Sluter, so David Sluter in P2. Trying to stay within striking distance of Zin. I believe Zin, if he thinks he can keep this gap managed to about 9 seconds, he thinks, my assumption here is that maybe he thinks he can get down pit road, take a quick splash of fuel compared to what he would have to do if he pit earlier, and hopefully that lower fuel not only keeps him quicker for the race, but puts him in a position to fight for the win here. As Austin Edwards runs into the back of him, Zin was coming down pit road, and I don't think Edwards noticed it. And that was almost costly for your LMP2 leader. Zin down pit road. And the Obey SimSport Paul Granata, who came out and ran like a lap, has severe front end damage. That's interesting to see. So there's Zin. Here's Sluter. That's pit road entrance right there. Sluter goes through the final corner. Zin still on pit road getting serviced. Oh, he took tires. Zin took tires, and I'm not sure Sluter did, or maybe Zin didn't take tires, I'm not sure, but Sluter back in the lead through turn 1, and I'm not sure Brian Zin's going to make it back out there in time, as Coy Hasselo is 13 laps down. He's sitting there on pit road, not sure if he has a lot of damage or what, but Zin off of pit road. He's going to be stuck P2 pretty much here. Here's Parker White, as he's getting lapped by Austin Edwards here. Edwards a little bit nicer this time to Parker, or, well, the GT cars I should say, whether even though it was a GT3 last time around. Grindle and Parker White, of course, these guys are 1-2. However, that's the battle between them right now. As actually, Harry Grindle is being compared to Ryan Martin in the P2s. He's not even showing up on the battle cam for Parker White. So, yeah, Grindle is quite a ways back. As unfortunately for Grindle, he is staring a lap down into Parker's rear bumper. Of course, Parker still has to pit, so we'll see what that 95 can do. I'm not sure if Parker's been saving or what. I mean, my thought is he's got to come pit soon, as we're nearing 10 minutes left in this race. But through the corkscrew here, I really like the sound of these cars coming out under braking, going into the corkscrew. I think they look really cool, to be honest. Getting in there, getting downhill like that. As Parker makes his way around the right-hander here, does that 95 pull? And he does. Parker White finally down pit road. Harry Grindle goes good. I can finish on the lead lap here at least. As, like I said, nearing the 10-minute mark, Parker is probably exhausted that entire fuel tank here. As Sean Giroux also comes down pit road. So Parker was the last car that needed to come in and pit. He has done so. And he had a lap lead when he came to pit, so the assumption here is that Harry Grindle does not get near him, and, well, Parker may have himself a win where he leads every lap in class. David Sluter here, he is 32 seconds ahead of Brian Zinn. So there is not really much of a chance here for Zinn to catch Sluter, and I guess Zinn's staying out strategy did not quite pan out the way he wanted to. And that's the second race in a row Sluter has pit early, taking the lead by this large of a margin. So I think if you're a GT3 driver, you have to take notice of this 94. You have to take a look and say, what is he doing that I'm doing wrong? And you see he's pitting early. Well, maybe that's the key here. As we have officially hit the 10-minute mark as of this time. And Austin Edwards continues to enlarge that gap between him and Cannizzaro, as these guys were so close beginning of the race. I wish they were still this close. It would make for an entertaining finish. As about 8 seconds behind Cannizzaro is Jordan Spoon. And about 12 seconds behind Spoon is Patterson after some mishaps, and he's got some left front damage on that O2. He's just trying to limp it around. Gino Morrow, he is 13 seconds behind Patterson, 52 behind our leader, Austin Edwards, and, well, I believe Gino is just trying to finish on the lead lap here. Fun fact, actually, Ryan Martin, who is P7 in the LMP2 class, he is 3 laps down in class, and he is on the same lap as GTE leader Parker White. So that either shows how fast Parker is or that Ryan's had a rough race. I think it's a little bit of a mix of both, but man, Parker did not lose the lead there. And he still has a huge lead over Harry Grindle. David Sluter making his way around the track here. There's Edwards, he's going to come around a lap Sluter soon. Overall, I think all these leaders have done a great job. Austin Edwards, man, he overcame a self-spin in that last corner on lap 1. Didn't even complete the lap as the leader. And he battled back. Stayed with, of course, Cannizzaro and the rest of the crew. They put on some fantastic, entertaining battling, and Austin Edwards off of pole. And that Maconi setup shop Faster Esports 118. Looking fantastic. He puts another lap down here. About another lap or so, and we'll hit the 5-minute mark in this one. Trying to see if there's any battling throughout the field. And I'm not seeing too much. As actually, Josh Patterson is being caught by Gino Marrow. Not sure if Josh made a mistake or what, but Josh lost about 9 seconds there. 10 seconds actually. As Jay Mulder, he runs off. He is continuing to have a rough day. He got by Coy Hasselo, who was in pit road for that long time, and Coy had a rough race. Coy was top 5 all of Daytona. Came out here, had that issue on the pace lap, ran someone over, and yeah. The GT3 class has had the biggest issues, I think. Ethan Harrison, Matthew McDonald, Nick Pena, Ethan Workman, Coy Hasselo, all retiring from this race. In that GT3 class, those guys quite brittle, I guess. As your GTE class, Mason Sweet was P2 to start this race. He's 34 laps down now. Brandon Stewart, Jason Ricia, all had issues. Aiden Elliott, after 4 pit stops, he had to finally pull it off. And Caleb Nickel, he has had 3 pit stops. He's just trying to finish this thing out. Britton Cooper has not quite had as rough of a day as his teammates Nickel and Elliott, as he's worked his way around this track nicely. He's only had 2 pit stops, so at least he's leading that category of his team here, and hopefully these guys get it sorted out. They're all sports car rookies. They came to work looking for some sports car action. Said, hey, we want to turn right and left with y'all, and of course, welcoming as always. And top 3 in the GT. Oh, David Sluter's around. David Sluter self-spins. Brian Zinn is coming through turn 1. Sluter is just getting going on the exit of turn 1. Actually, that might not be the exit of turn 1. No, it's turn 2. Okay. Zinn was so far back, I don't think that hurts anything, but that's the second time Sluter has self-spun. And if he is having a rough time on these tires, you've got to wonder what he'll be doing in that 94. As Cannizzaro comes around, laps him. And there's Brian Zinn. He gained 20 seconds on that self-spin on Sluter. However, he is still 34 seconds behind. That is absolutely insane that Zinn only gained 20 seconds. You'd think, oh, that's a large margin. Not when you compare it to the fact he was 55 seconds down when Sluter self-spun. That's just crazy. And there's Brian Zinn coming to lap Seth Warren here in that GT3 class. Works his way up behind Warren. Here's the left-hander. Don't think he's gonna catch Sluter, but maybe if Sluter self-spins one or two more times, he might have a chance. As we should be under the 5-minute mark now at about 3 minutes, so maybe that iRacing lap time, that lap counter is wrong. So we'll see here. Austin Edwards should just be a couple laps away from taking the white flag and clinching this thing, unless he has a self-spin of his own. As actually Cannizzaro has been reeled in slightly by Jordan Spoon. There's Cannizzaro going through one. There's Spoon right there. And that flashy colored 36 Spoonworks machine. And Jordan Spoon may be able to take P2 here if he's able to run down Cannizzaro. He's gonna have to gain a little over a second a lap, which he actually has done. He was over 10 seconds back on Cannizzaro. Now he's down to 5. And just behind them, Josh Patterson is getting reeled in by Gino Mero for P4. Every position matters for points, so we'll see here. There's Austin Edwards going through turn 1. David Sluter extending the gap again on Brian Zinn. And Parker White, he is almost a lap on Harry Grindle, as Parker has led every single lap. What a drive by Parker here is. There's Austin. And look now. There's Cannizzaro right in front of Jordan Spoon. It's down to about just under 2 seconds. And Jordan has about 1 or 2 more laps, so we'll see if Jordan can catch him, as Josh Patterson, he's getting reeled in by Gino Mero. About the same gap between him and between these two as it is between Spoon and Cannizzaro. So we might have a couple battles on our hands still in the P2 classes. Jordan Spoon is flying right now. Not sure if Cannizzaro is more fuel or damage, or Jordan just has a setup that's really good on the long run here. I believe Austin Edwards next time around will be coming to the white flag. There's Edwards going through the last couple corners here, and as I said, he should be taking the white flag this time. Either this time or next time around, we'll see here. Maybe not. Session is only 2 hours long. And the session opened at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, so maybe we really do have 65 laps of this thing. Jordan Spoon, he got by John Cannizzaro. as John just kind of fell apart there here at the end. I'm not sure what happened to that 17. He's getting a little bit better run now. As oh! Garrett White goes around. Patterson has to let Gino Mero by. And I'm not sure if Ryan Martin just dumped Garrett White or not. But Garrett cannot be happy about that one as Ryan Martin spins on his own. Right into Joe Fierro. And Ryan Martin having a hard time getting around here, as that cost Patterson some position. As Gino is going to pull away there. We went back to Jordan and John. Looks like John had closed that gap up momentarily. Not anymore. Spoon has pulled a pretty big gap now on Cannizzaro. We'll see here if Patterson can get back to Mero. I guess my timing was off. I thought since the session was only paid for till 8:30, that, well, 8:30 would have made it 80 minutes, but I guess not. So we've probably just recently hit the under 10-minute mark. Oh! Austin Edwards, your LMP2 leader, just got taken out by Jay Mulder. What in the world? We're gonna have to pull up the WORC replay for that one. What happened here? We are under replay, folks. Under replay. As we're watching Austin Edwards and Jay Mulder, Jay just loops it and takes out Austin Edwards. Oh my goodness. That is awful. Austin appears to be fine. I don't know how much damage he has, if he's going to be able to limp this thing around. That was absolutely ridiculous by Jay Mulder. There's Mulder right there. I am not sure what was going on with him. Fortunately for Austin, Jordan still is about 27 seconds back. So looks like there's a chance that Austin is okay. He doesn't have that much damage. Wow, that was chaotic. I am really confused as to what in the world happened there to... Wow. Unreal. I don't have much to say about that one, as we'll see here if Jay Mulder gets a black flag for that or not. White flag is out here for Austin Edwards. And wow, I can't believe that he just got taken out. I am still a little speechless off of that one. And other classes, a little bit less drama here for Parker White. He takes the white flag. And David Sluter, I believe he has taken the white flag already, if I'm not mistaken. So here's Austin. He's ran a great race and had a little scare there at the end. Austin Edwards, coming through the last couple corners here. We'll see if he's nice to Ryan Martin or not. Austin Edwards coming out of the final corner down that front straightaway, takes the win. Great drive from him. We have a car spun off the track there. Here comes David Sluter. David Sluter. Nice win for him. He's going to come around. He's going to take a GT3 win here. Back to back. Parker White. And Parker White now, he's going to come around. He's going to take the checkered flag here as Parker White will win in the GT class. Austin pacing around one. David has pulled it into pit road. As Parker did burnouts at Daytona, let's see if he does them again here. Always entertaining. As there's Austin Edwards. Great race by these guys. We're gonna try to pull them in for interviews here. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back here on WORC TV with post-race interviews with your class winners. Congratulations to Parker White, Austin Edwards, and David Sluter. Welcome back, everybody, to WORC TV. As we're back here for some post-race interviews, we're going to try to drag in our LMP2 winner, Austin Edwards. Austin, you're in the WORC TV booth. You had a coffee, bud.
Yes, sir. I got you.
Man, very eventful race for you from almost the drop of the green, really. You qualified pole, um, and then you spun yourself coming out of the final corner on lap one. Had to drive through back through the field. Some great battling you guys put on in the LMP2 class. You guys absolutely put on a show. But I guess the first question I want to ask is, can you run me through what went through your head when you spun off the final corner on lap one? Did you think, this is go time, I have to get back on it, or what was your strategy there?
Well, it was kind of a moment of, okay, this is something I shouldn't be doing unless I'm a rookie. And fortunately, I'm not a rookie, but tires were cold in that moment, and I had set up this car to be a little bit more on the aggressive side rather than the safe side. So, unfortunately, that didn't pay off in the first half of the race. But once I was able to get the car back up and running, it was just about keeping it clean, trying to get into a rhythm, and try to work my way back up slowly. But from about minute 20 to 40, there was some intense racing between the LMP2s, and I was thinking about getting involved in it, but they were all over the place. I was waiting for some chaos to happen. Luckily, all the drivers kept their talent together, kept some good racing. But after that, I was able to get a good pit stop in, put some tires on when John didn't, and that paid off in the long run. There's some contact with the lap car from time to time to time, and somehow the car made it to the end despite running a little hot and almost out of fuel. But turned out to be a good day.
Yeah, the second thing I wanted to ask you, you mentioned about that lap car. I'm not sure what happened. Obviously, I don't have, voice chat unmuted. Did Jay at least apologize to you for that, or what went on there?
Oh, well, I think it was a 50-50 deal. I mean, I had seen him getting a little bit loose, and unfortunately, I've never driven the Lambos before, and I've heard they're a little bit difficult to save. So I think at that moment it would have been smarter for me to back down. But I had thought he was going to get got back together, so it's a 50-50 deal. I can't blame him. It did hurt my car a little bit, but obviously I had a big enough lead that I was able to just cruise it to the finish and keep it in one piece. Um, but it happens between prototypes and GTs racing together. It's bound to happen. So if it was my fault in any way, I do apologize. Not to mention all the GTs that I dive bombed about 50 times throughout the whole race. But at the end of the day, we all made it to the finish line.
For sure, man. Well, Austin, congratulations on your win. Before I let you go, do you have anybody you want to thank tonight?
I want to say a big thanks to the Faster Esports guys for letting me race with them, and Track Time Entertainment Sim Rigs for supporting me in everything I do in sim racing. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
For sure, man. Glad to see that Makoni Setup Shop sticker on your car. They're also a sponsor of WORC, so good to see a little bit of intertwining going on there. Well, congratulations, Austin, on your very dominating victory tonight, and hopefully we see you around, man.
All right, thank you, Braison.
All right, guys, that was Austin Edwards who finished P1 in the LMP2 class. We're here now. We're going to bring in the GT winner, Parker White. Parker, you're in the WORC TV booth. You had a copy, bud.
Yeah, I got you.
Man, wow, great race by you. That was one of the best drives I think I've ever seen from anybody. Your pit strategy, I gotta ask, did you run that tank dry or?
Yeah, we just ran it dry there. I think I came in. I probably could have gone one more lap, but I didn't really think that'd do anything. I got ran over a few laps before by LMP2, but there wasn't really anything any of us could have done because it was just in a part of the track where kind of you go through the corner, you would stay over to the right side, then kind of go to the left to get arc for the next corner, and all he thought I was going to do was just go up and get the arc, but I just stayed over there, and just in the moment, there wasn't really anything both of us could have done there. So I got the car back going. We only lost about 9 seconds there, so that was good. And we didn't really have any optional damage. But after that damage there, the car just wouldn't really go to the left that well. So I decided to adapt to that. And once I adapted to that, it was pretty easy. I had like a 50-second lead after pit stop, so I just knew if I could keep the car clean, it'd be good to win the race.
Yeah, for sure, man. At one point had the entire GTE field a lap down. Did you think you may have had a chance there to finish the race with all of them a lap down, or did you think Harry was just a little too fast to finish a lap down?
In the beginning of the race, I knew I definitely had a really fast car because I pulled out to like a 10-second lead. So I thought that we might be able to lap the entire field there. But I think Harry was just too fast to lap the entire field. The reason we had the entire field to lap down there was because Harry pitted before I did, and I was just able to kind of overtake him. And really, if I wouldn't have got run over there, I don't think I would have lapped him anyway because I only lost, like I said, about 9 seconds on that lap. So Harry definitely had a lot of pace there.
I mean, man, I still can't believe it. I think that you topped your Daytona drive, which I thought was phenomenal because you only gave up the lead under pit stops. Well, this time around, you didn't give up the lead at all, man. I mean, congratulations. You've obviously shown yourself as the early championship favorite here for this GTE class. Before I let you go, do you have anybody you want to thank tonight?
Yeah, I've got to thank my team, Rail Motorsports, for giving me the fast car here tonight, and I've got to thank Bungeon Lawn Care and Media for sponsoring me, and I've got to thank, of course, you guys up here at Work TV, and of course you, Braison, for doing all the broadcasts and this league because it's a lot of fun. I really appreciate that. So yeah, just thank you to everyone that I just mentioned.
All right, well, thank you, Parker, and congratulations, man. Hope to see you continue your dominance next week as we head to Road America.
All right, thank you.
All right, guys, that was Parker White, your GT winner, and now, last but not least, I have to go back a little bit to try to find him here. He pulled off so early. David Sluter is not one for celebrating, I guess. He likes to just get off the track. There he is. All right, let's pull David in for an interview. David, you're in the Work TV booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, congratulations, man. Great strategy by you once again. I've got to ask, do you think people are going to catch on to your strategy? You've pit really early on both races and come out just absolutely with a huge gap to take the win.
To be completely honest, this race it was not planned. I had that self spin and the kink, and I decided since it was already a bad lap to go ahead and come into the pits. But I was honestly planning on staying out all the way until I was out of fuel, just because of the size of the lead I had.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you still ran a great race, and I was actually surprised. I was like, man, maybe this early strategy thing is working for him. When you self-spun again, the second time around, did you have any worry in your mind that Brian Zinn was gonna have a chance to catch you, or did you think I just gotta get it going, get back in my rhythm, and we'll be good?
A little bit. I mean, when the pit cycle actually went through and I had a 35-second lead, I think, or around there, I was pretty confident, even if I did have a self spin, which I did, that I was gonna be able to stay out in front of him. But yeah, I mean, self spinning always is a worry, and having a lead.
Well, I mean, still pulled off the win, so I guess I'd say it wasn't too bad. Just a couple lessons learned about Laguna Seca, man. Well, before I let you go, do you have anybody you want to thank tonight?
Just my teammates like usual. I know Austin got the win tonight, so that's pretty good. We didn't have our GTE driver in there tonight, but at least we got the double wins in LMP2 and GTD.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, congratulations, David, on your win tonight, and we hope to see you around.
Yep, thanks, man.
All right, guys, that was David Sluter, your GTE winner. And well, that will do it for us today here at WORC, as Laguna Seca has brought us a great race, some fantastic battling in the P2s, especially. I was very entertained by that. As I mentioned, next Sunday night, same time, these guys will head to